So in this second lesson on powers, we're going to have a look at the laws of indices. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to consider 5 squared times 5 cubed. So if I write that out, 5 squared is the same as 5 times 5, and 5 cubed is the same as 5 times 5 times 5. And these are multiplied together. So if I look at what I've got, I've actually got 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, which is 5 lots of 5 times 5, so it's the same as 5 to the 5. This allows me to derive my first law of indices, which you can see in the rainbow box, which is the following. If I've got xa times x to the b, then I can have x to the power of a plus b, so I add the two indices. Let's look back at our examples at the top. I've now got 5 cubed divided by 5 squared. So if I write that out, I've got 5 times 5 times 5 divided by 5 times 5. Now I've got 5 multiplied by everything on the top, 5 multiplied by everything on the bottom, so I can cancel that. 5 multiplied by everything on the top, 5 multiplied by everything on the bottom, so I can cancel that. So I just end up with 5, which is the same as 5 to the 1. This is an example of my second law of indices, which is so, if I have x to the a divided by x to the b, then that's the same as x to the power of a minus b. Let's look at our third and final example. I've got 5 cubed squared. So if I expand the 5 cubed, I've got 5 times 5 times 5 squared, which is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Now these are all multiplied together, so I don't actually need my brackets, so I can get rid of those. And what I end up with is 5 to the power of 6. This is an example of my final law of indices, which is if I have x to the a to the power of b, then I can multiply the two indices, so I end up with x to the power of ab. Now there's one important thing to note, which is that to use these laws, the bases must be the same. So in the laws I've written down, everything is to the base x, and in my examples, everything is to the base 5. So let's look at some examples. So I've got x to the power of 3 times x to the power of 2, then I need to add my two indices, just like my first law. So I get x to the power of 3 plus 2, which is x to the 5. My second example, I've got x cubed over x squared, so I can take away 2 from 3, so I have x to the 1, which is x. Finally, I've got x cubed all to the power of 2, so I'm going to multiply my indices, end up with x to the 6. I hope you found this video useful, and let me know if you have any questions.